Night markets, temples, and malls are just a few things that Bangkok has to offer. In this video, we explore the traditional and modern sides of Bangkok. We travel across the city to see magnificent places, incredible views, and so much more. Join us as we spend 3 days in this bustling and beautiful city. Welcome to Bangkok, Thailand. After arriving at Suvarnabhumi Airport at 5 p.m., we opted to take the metro instead of a taxi into the city center. After changing metro lines and observing the crazy Bangkok traffic, we made it to Chinatown. The hotel we stayed at was the Old Thai Hang Hotel, which I highly recommend. The room was clean, beds were comfy, and most importantly, the AC was working. We booked 3 nights at this hotel, which cost us 5,900 baht. We were quite tired after the 11-hour flight, but we wanted to make the most out of our time here, so we got settled and then headed out. Our first stop was Wat Road. We enjoyed walking around and observing locals as well as tourists. The alleys around Chinatown were absolutely packed with people and stalls selling food. It was definitely a shock with the amount of people comparing to what it is back home in Sweden. After walking around a bit, Andrea got some pancakes from a stall and I decided to get some delicious vegan coconut pancakes from another stall. As a tourist, no day in Thailand is complete without a stop at 7-Eleven. And of course, Andrea had to try a ham and cheese toast.
Thank you. Vänta!
Det var inget fel på den, men den lever upp till hypen som jag hörde om den.
Funny enough, even though he said this now, he ended up eating at least one of those every day for the next 2 weeks. We ended the night with a stop at a night market where we listened to some music and relaxed. On the second day, we headed out with the goal of making it to the Grand Palace. We made a short detour around Chinatown. Chinatown in Bangkok is one of the largest in the world because of the many Chinese immigrants that came here during the 1700s. After living in China for 7 years myself, I always love to go to these places to feel some nostalgia and even get to practice my Mandarin. We didn't make it very far after Chinatown before a local told us that we should get a tuk-tuk to take us around to some of the main attractions.
Sweden! Yeah. Thank you! Yes, very hot.
It kind of felt like a scam at first, but we honestly thought it was a great deal. Not only was it cheap, but he waited for us at every stop that we made. So the 3-hour trip with our personal tuk-tuk taxi ended up costing us only 200 baht. The first stop we made was the Sitting Buddha. We were the only ones there, and we definitely didn't appreciate this enough. As you'll see later in the video, some temples were extremely crowded. After giving some coins to the Buddha, we went to this small museum where we saw wax figures of dead monks. It was a little creepy, but quite interesting. The second stop was the Standing Buddha. This place was big with many impressive buildings. The temples here in Thailand are also colorful and detailed on the outside and inside. After inspecting some fish in the pond, we saw the Standing Buddha. Our tuk-tuk driver then dropped us off at the pier where we took a Longtail boat out to a small floating market. This was definitely a highlight for Andrea. It was cool to see the houses built on top of the water and also to see how some of the locals live. We then made a quick stop at a smaller market where I had some spring rolls. We mainly just walked around. I was expecting more of a real floating market that you can find in other places in Bangkok, but sadly this was not like that. For me, one of the best parts of the boat tour, besides petting the cute kitty of course, was the building behind the Sitting Buddha that was under construction. It was not obvious to find, but once we got inside, it was incredible, the amount of detail and color in the painting of the inside. After enjoying the view of another sitting Buddha, there really are Buddhas everywhere here, we jumped on the boat again and made our way to our next stop. This was the famous temple called Wat Arun. This temple was incredible, however, there were so many people that it sadly made the experience a little bit less enjoyable. The buildings were obviously still spectacular, but it was a hassle trying to get through all the people. After a long day, we were really hungry, and I had some dumplings and Andreas had some noodles. We did make a short stop at Khao San Road before heading back. On the third day, we had some breakfast at this vegan place in a small mall close to our hotel, and today we wanted to explore more of the modern side of Bangkok. First up was the tallest building in Bangkok, the MahaNakhon. A short elevator ride took us up to the top, and I was really excited about the view, which did not disappoint. There was also something at the top of this building that I was really looking forward to.
Nej, bara vänta tills glasvåningen.
I'm not usually afraid of heights, but I'm not gonna lie. This did make me a bit uncomfortable. But look at this incredible view. Another thing that was included in the ticket that got us up to the top of the building was entrance to this cool light show. Just walking distance from the MahaNakhon was Lumphini Park. It was a beautiful park just to take a walk in, but the best part about the park was, of course, the monitor lizards. We saw babies and a really big one. One even came really close to us, which we will see in a second. These lizards reminded me so much of the Komodo dragons that I've seen in Indonesia before, and later I found out that they are actually related. We really needed to cool down from being in the heat all day, so the next stop was perfect for that. Bangkok has many huge malls, and even though we don't really enjoy shopping that much, we still really like to walk around and see what Bangkok had to offer. We were in Central World Mall, and this week they had a Japanese expo with stalls selling Japanese food and other Japanese things. Still being on the eastern part of Bangkok, we really wanted to check off this last spot on our list, Benchakitti Park. The sun was just setting and the views did not disappoint. Just look at the reflections of the buildings in the water. It was absolutely beautiful. The park continued into this wooded area with a cool lighted walkway that stretched over the park. It took us to another beautiful view over the city. We were soon back on the busy streets, and next we wanted to go to a rooftop bar, as I had heard a lot about those on YouTube. When we got there, we quickly realized we did not have the right clothes on. Everyone there was wearing very fancy clothing. Also, the entrance fee was pretty expensive. So instead, I managed to sneak up there really quickly and got a video over the city, and then we left. Our last day here was a short one. We needed to catch a flight in the afternoon and felt like our last day should be going to the Grand Palace. The Grand Palace has been the major architectural symbol of the Thai royal family. It was the former residence of King Rama I to the 5th. Today, the place is used for hosting ceremonies and welcoming the king's guests, state guests, and other foreigners. This place was so big with so many different kinds of buildings, and the buildings themselves were absolutely spectacular. There's so much detail that went into every part of it. As with previous popular tourist attractions on this trip, there were so many people everywhere. Even if we went early in the morning, it was still impossible to avoid the crowds. Next to the Grand Palace is Wat Pho, another famous tourist attraction here in Bangkok, showcasing a lying Buddha. It was quite incredible how large it actually was, but it was almost impossible to walk around due to the fact that there were so many people there. However, on the outside, there were these pointy-shaped statues, which I thought were really cool. And so this is how we spent 3 days in this incredible city. Thank you for watching. Next, we head to the south of Thailand to visit the Phuket Elephant Sanctuary. See you in the next video.